For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and of peace there will be no end, on the throne of David and over his kingdom, to establish it and uphold it with justice and with righteousness from this time forth and forevermore. The zeal of Yahweh of armies will do this, the Lord of hosts, Yahweh of armies. Hi, I'm Reverend John David Duke Jr. Welcome to my Bible study. This is the last one of these we'll do. I'll see you again in the new year if you're following along week by week. Advent is upon us. I thought it'd be a good day to end on Christmas passage to get us ready. Advent's coming, and then the new year. I'm the pastor of Concordia Lutheran Church in Newfane, New York, and the pastor of St. John Lutheran Church in Youngstown, New York. And this is the Colorful Bible. And basically we read stuff and try to draw pictures of it. Let's see. So how do you draw a wonderful counselor? I don't rightly know. So I found a picture of Jesus, and I'm going to put it as the thumbnail to this video, that you basically have Jesus there with his hair, this wonderful counselor. Well, it is closely associated with government, right? Government, as you know, if you're watching here in 2020, and this is just true of any election at any level, basically, when you elect a new leader, the speculation goes far and wide as to who his counselors are going to be. In parliamentary governments, you have ministers, and I think in more democratic style governments like the United States, you have secretaries: the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, and so on and so forth. Who are the counselors going to be? Well, Jesus is going to be his own counselor, because Christians kind of do a little short-circuiting and go, well, this is Jesus. Well, what's going on that you want a new government? Well, a handful of things. Hey, now, I made sure this was working. There we go. Krita, what's going on? Well, Isaiah 9 comes after a long diatribe from God after the king Uzziah died. And there's a problem when King Uzziah died, and he was unclean. So God is going to have to clean the land with fire. And Ahaz is the second king after that. And he just isn't into all this stuff. He'd prefer to do politics the old-fashioned way. Speaking of which, wouldn't it be great if we had a leader right now? I was just watching. It's what is today's date? The 18th. This will broadcast on the 19th of November, 2020. And I was just watching my governor, who is right now Mario Cuomo's son, Andrew, give a speech, a press conference, which is just embarrassing. And before the pandemic is even over, he's writing, touting how great he is. It's just not what a leader does. And I'm disappointed in all my leaders, church leaders and none otherwise. We have here an example of that. So I'm going to draw a king. King Ahaz, essentially. Yeah, that's right. I've got this wonderful new toy. Yeah, let's give him some hair. Oh, yeah. Krita, by the way, for those of you asking. And he's outside talking to Isaiah. This is King Ahaz. And so we'll give him some, some shoulders there. He's probably a little anxious because, the bad guys are coming, and he's got nothing really. He's just little Judah, and he's done. His own brothers are coming to attack him. So what are you going to do? So let's give him a scepter here. Here we go. Oh, man, I'm liking this program a lot. And that thing's going to be, I like emeralds. If I'm king, I'm definitely having an emerald as my main jewel. And I'm going to make it the best emerald you can get. And let's put a crown on him. I think they had golden crowns by this point. Yeah, so we'll put a crown on him. And so this is King Ahaz. And let's make it more, that's more of a medieval crown. Let's make it more of a, there we go. and he's probably braided gold or something like that. He's probably going to have a feather or something in it. Do we want to draw a feather? Yeah, let's draw a feather. I'm making that up. I really don't know if he just had a feather in it. Let's just pretend I would, because if I were king, I'd make sure I had feathers and stuff to make sure everybody knew that I was king. Probably maybe a turban. I'm going too long on this part. There we go. Really fine stuff. Oh, purple. I forgot about purple being like a really important thing. We're just going to make this purple highlights. There we go. Because I don't want to get bogged down in all the details here. Yeah. So he's got the purple on. He's got the blue horns. Those are supposed to be feathers, right? And he's not happy because things are just not going well. So let's give him a little frowny face. No. And he's mad at Isaiah for telling him that God is not happy with him. And that's when Isaiah tells him, you're going to have a son. Except he doesn't say it to Ahaz. He says it to them. Hear now, O house of Israel, the virgin shall conceive. And it's a controverted word. The virgin shall conceive. Now, what's going on here? Well, right behind Ahaz are all these enemies, right? And they hate him. Those aren't scepters. Those are spears. And they are going to get him. Did I switch over? I want to make sure you're seeing my fantastic drawing. Yeah, right. They are going to kill him. And so in his consciousness, there's all these people. And behind them is an even bigger baddie. Either the king of Egypt or Assyria, one of the two, giving him all the money. There's a lot of people who want what Ahaz has, and that's the throne of Jerusalem. They got to consolidate. And so Isaiah is saying, the virgin shall conceive. Now, is he talking about somebody right there, or is he talking about an actual virgin? Yes, that's the right way to do it when you're doing typology. And so you're going to have a new king come into place, right? And he is going to be the son of Ahaz. Now, which generation, we're not sure, but it doesn't matter because he's talking to the house of David. Ahaz is afraid that the house of David is about to come to an end, the dynasty. And so Isaiah is giving this promise. Yeah, the house of David is going to go on, but the king of Assyria is going to come first, and it's going to be bad. So all this bad stuff is going to happen, and then we get to chapter 9, where we have this king who is born, a son is born, and on, let's see, I'm not going to draw a manger because that's just too much. Let's put him in a cradle of some sort. Yeah. Oh, man. I should take art lessons. I think I'd be better at this. So here's your little baby, and yeah, he's in here. And so Ahaz is looking at a vision of a baby, right? Wah, right? Baby, and here's the little mother and the nursemaids. Let's see if I can draw a little mother. Draw her hair first, right? Yeah, make her nice and beautiful with lots of hair. She's young, right? So she's gonna have a lot of hair, right? That's not a beautiful girl. Let's see. Let's try to there round her nose. It's more of a cartoon girl. There we go. All right. Still not very pretty, but, you know, pretty enough. Okay. And she's going to be sitting, as the girls kind of do sometimes, singing lullabies, right? She looks like a worm. I know what I have to do now. Get her sitting more like... There we go. Have to look into my mind to see the image. Right? And a hand is rocking, right? Impressionist stuff here. And she's going to have a crown too, because she's a princess. See, and that's what's key to understanding all this. She is a very important girl. Right? Very important. She's a princess. She belongs to the house of David. And so she's happy about this baby that's being born. This is Ahaz seeing this vision. And on his shoulders will be the government. And that's what I was alluding to at first when I opened up this thing. The government shall be on his shoulders. Wouldn't it be great if we could see that, right? Because of whom we have as leaders throughout our culture: governor, president, president-elect, the leaders of our church body, the leaders of the great church bodies. I don't know a single one that I would consider a leader less than a political power monger right now. I could. Does anybody? Maybe you can't. You can conjure up in your mind somebody whom you have a lot of respect for in terms of leadership during this unstable kind of time where we're going through a swampy little section of our history together, right? Who has really shined for us? But Jesus shines from his throne, hidden from us, right? But we know it's there. And then, like, you have all these wonderful attributes given to him. The government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor. He keeps his own counsel, is basically what that means. He's Mighty God, which is, that's saying a whole lot, isn't it? That the Son of David would be God, that the Son of David would be Everlasting Father, but the Prince of Peace as well. We see a little hint of it in Hezekiah. If you want to learn a little bit about what Jesus does in very kind of earthy, ancient Near Eastern terms, 8th century terms, BC, read about Hezekiah, and you'll see a real strong picture of Jesus emerge in those idioms, right? Castles and palaces and siege warfare, which was part of that existence back in the 8th century BC. 701, and then into the 690s, right? That's where it all happens. There's something to be said about Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, too. I want to show you something it's not true. It's a suggestion. And you have these words. Whoops, I'm going to change colors here. Yeah, come on. I'm learning a little bit about this here. Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God. I'm trying to do it by memory. Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. If you count them like that, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 attributes, or names, really. But this is just cool. This isn't the right answer. No one really knows, and you have to do a lot of jiggling with the text. If you know Hebrew, you know it doesn't work as cleanly as you would really like it. It'd be cool. But if you put a comma here, if you put a comma here, if you put a comma here, and if you put a comma here, and a comma here, with your last comma there, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 names. And 7 is such a nice Bible number, isn't it? But it doesn't work so clearly because you have Everlasting Father as one word, and Mighty God that kind of looks like an one thing too. So, just 4 things. But I think if you take all the commas out and you've got the 4th thing, you still have a pretty clear picture of what's going on. You have a Wonderful Counselor, meaning he's his own counselor. He doesn't need help telling him what to do. A lot of times a counselor gets, well, Jesus is the guy who talks to you and talks you through your troubles. That's not what this is about. It's about him running his kingdom by himself, and he doesn't need anybody's help. Mighty God, right? That's self-explanatory. Everlasting Father, right? He's one with the Father, Jesus is, and so on and so forth. And Prince of Peace. Well, how is the King Everlasting Father? Well, it's this typological thing. Ancient Near Eastern kings considered themselves one with God, and it's a really powerful theology that the one who sits on a throne participates in the divine nature. In the ancient Near East and Israel's history, it's sacramental in nature, right? Which means it's substitutionary and it comes with a promise. There's a means by which it's delivered. the king isn't really God. When it comes with Jesus, it's not sacramental anymore. It's the real deal. It's full blown on, like the light is on. Jesus is all these things, and there's no in between. There's no like means by which it's delivered to him. He is the deliverer, right? So I think, that's good enough for now. God is the God of history, and he's directing it all. And even when, as in the days of King Ahaz, when he was under a tremendous threat from all sorts of enemies, there is an everlasting promise that, yeah, it's going to get bad and you deserve it. But, Jesus is this king of a peaceful kingdom that exists even now. And we're looking forward to it to be revealed. And it is revealed in part in that manger in Bethlehem some time ago. It is from eternity, and it belongs to us as a gift. So I'll see you after the new year with Bible study. Announcements coming up about Advent in another video in a week or so. For those of you who are following along week by week as I'm producing these, again, it's the 18th of November, 2020. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you on Sunday services too. So take her easy, and God bless you all. Bye.